Hey, what's good up? This is Dr. Jerry Doby, editor-in-chief of the Hype magazine. I'm rocking with Mr. Fred Malone, 77.3 out of Chicago. He's doing the thing, baby.
Hey.
This is WBBC Chicago. Yeah. 77.3, your hottest digital station.
Now in digital HD sound.
Good morning to you guys. How you guys doing? It's the one and only DJ Malone, Chicago 77.3, the best place to be at on any day. Really, how you guys doing? I'm here on a Saturday, man, and I'm doing blessed and highly favored. And to you, and the sortie who left your iPhone at the gig yesterday, hey, I already pawned it, so it really doesn't matter. With all that being said, I got greatness into the building, man, and I want you guys to really get in tune with him and everything else like that. From the Hype magazine, editor-in-chief, go ahead and tell your name, because I like how you say it.
Hey, what's good, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Jerry Doby, editor-in-chief of the Hype magazine. I also own Doby LLC, which is a marketing and SEO company.
Man, this is an honor to even have you on here, man. How you been?
Amazing. How about you?
I'm good, man. I've just been trying to make $1 into $1 million.
Hey, man, I understand. I still got lint, though.
I'm done with you, man. Hey, I want people to get to know your journey, because your journey is definitely one for the books, and I mean that in a good way, because you have been doing this for a good minute now.
Yeah, I came on to the Hype magazine in 2012, right after I retired from the military. Actually, as I was transitioning from active duty into civilian life, I was working for Yahoo. So actually, my beginning started in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I was a citizen journalist for Yahoo.
Okay.
And I was an editor. And in between missions, I'd be out on the road for a month or two. And then in between missions, you got to do something in the hooch, man. Yeah. So I ordered a satellite dish off of eBay. Okay. Shout out to DHL, man. Those guys are fearless. They
didn't care?
Oh, bro. I ordered it. DHL came all the way to the compound in Afghanistan.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, some guys from Raytheon helped me get on the top of the hooch. And in the middle of a firefight, we were installing a satellite dish so that we could get internet.
That's one for the books, right?
It was funny.
So now, and big shouts to you, because for being, with the veterans and everything, I really do appreciate that, man.
Oh, thank you.
So, let me ask you this: when did your love for music start?
My mother was a concert pianist.
Okay.
So I grew up with music, classical music mostly. Okay. I spent a lot of my time in concert halls.
Okay.
And then she assaulted me with a clarinet, and I came up during the age when clarinet wasn't cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I always loved the intricacy of music.
Okay.
And not so much the emotional responses that it gave me, but the changes and the effects. So timbre, intonation, all those things I grew up learning about. And I just began to love it. And the stories. And then when hip-hop hit, the stories that we were living, to hear them told in such clever manners. Mm. And at that time they were actually using metaphor and things like that, things that make you go rewind. What did you just say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so having conversations through music was a big deal for me.
Well, no, and I know, was music kind of in your family? I know your mom, but was like any other people, like as far as?
No, she was the only creative.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And you have a way of words with you, man. You know how to talk. Not just on verbally, but on a piece of paper.
You know what? Words were my friends. I was a military brat, and the reality was that I was too dark for the white kids to play with, and I was too light-skinned for the black kids to play with. Mm. We moved around a lot. I came up during the Vietnam area. Okay. So, words became my friends. So I owned, my prized possession was a first edition Funkin' Wagnalls.
Okay.
Including the appendices. And so I read everything from cover to cover, and then thesauruses and dictionaries. Those were my things, wordplay. I couldn't rap, couldn't sing or anything like that, but I could translate feelings onto paper.
Right. Okay.
And it just came natural after practice years.
Do you think now because everybody types or they're on their phones, I hear a lot of people sometimes say, I like to write it on paper because it makes it feel real. Is that the same way with you?
Well, for me, I like to paint pictures. I just look at this blank canvas, and then the same as Matisse or Gauguin or Rodin, I'm trying to see how I can paint this picture and create this narrative in a manner that excites other people. I want them to lean forward and read, and challenge them. Hopefully, I throw out some words that make them pick up a dictionary or something like that. Yeah. So I pride myself in being a communicator.
That's what's up. Give me your top 3 books of all time.
My top 3 books would be Invisible Man.
Okay, I like that.
My second one would be anything from the Jason Bourne series or Robert Ludlum. I'll give you my authors because I like the country and Western. I like the hero stuff, and that kind of inspired me when I had the opportunity to go into the military. Follow me, do all that.
Okay,
I wanted to be the tough guy.
Okay, but then over time you became the overall guy.
Overall, I don't know that I'm a master of everything, but I pride myself in communication. I pride myself in painting those pictures with words.
Real.
I pride myself in teaching people the fundamentals of the King's English, so to speak. Real. But I do, cover a little bit of everything.
Hey, but you know what though? I like the fact that you have a strong foundation, and I felt like people that come from a strong foundation, they can survive within anything. Even in this day of age, the people who have that foundation always seem to always stay on top.
Yeah, I was blessed. My mother is from Santiago de Cuba, and my father's people are from West Cape, Africa. Very strong Southern roots. He came up actually in Florida. Okay. And, so the inflection and tone of your voice, the timbre of your voice, when you responded, even with a yes, sir, or no, sir, it had to be right. Yeah. Otherwise, you were climbing a tree. And for those of y'all don't know about climbing a tree to get your switch, that's what it was. So I learned how to speak, be respectful, and then, just be sensitive to how to approach other people.
Hey, I respect that. So let's dive into the blogging. And I know you said about with the Yahoo and everything. And this is before, how it is now. And you come from an era where resumes had to be appointed.
Bruh, you had to really write. I came from an era where in the media, since we're talking about the media space specifically, I worked in the mailroom at CAA, which is a creative artists agency. Okay. And when we were pulling actual bios and headshots and things, sending them to the agent so they could get out to the media. So that's where I started. That's my foundation. On the family foundation, I'm a military brat. Like I said, I did have both parents in the home for quite a while, and made me a better person. If that answers your question.
It does. I think, like I said, man, I think the little subtle moments or the little subtle things that we don't think when we're kids, they have such a greater impact when we're adults.
I agree. I think that those basic foundations, mores and morals, the survival skills that our people used coming up, just to make it, have served me well moving forward. And we've lost that. And we're in the age of babies making babies and communication and things like that are getting lost with each successive generation. And it isn't, we're still subject to the chains and images of psychological slavery, basically. And thus, when we learn to communicate and master the words and their language, you know what I mean? The industry's language, the business language, the legal language and political language, we're better able to survive and push forward and teach the next generation. So that's where I'm at with it.
That's what's up. Let's dive into the Hype magazine real quick and how you got into everything with that. What was the start of that for you?
In 2012, as I said, I was starting a transition from the military. And I did an interview, a piece on a guy called Big Jig. Okay. And at that time, he was the 6-time Freestyle Friday champion on 106 in Park. I did that piece for him, and Yahoo says, "Hey man, my sister owns the Hype magazine. I know you heard of the Hype magazine." "No, bro, I ain't never heard of the Hype magazine."
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Jamila Just J. Wilkerson. She's an amazing person. Actually saved my life because I would have been a statistic when I came back. I was ready to check out. Feel me?
Yeah.
So I did that piece. He introduced it. It was really funny because we talked for 2 hours. And I said, "Look, I don't need your money. I need the opportunity to be able to express these stories." And she wouldn't call me back for like a couple of months. And I finally called her out and cussed her out. I said, "Look here, you gonna talk to me? You gonna give me a chance?" She said, "Oh, you crazy?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." And that was kind of the start. So in 2012, I came on as the executive editor.
Okay.
And my Trial by Fire was a 24 Issues of Giving series. We did a new cover, new content, every other day, 20 issues, fresh. So we had Tito Lopez, T.Y. Dollar Sign was on our cover. We were his first national cover.
Okay.
Snow the Product, we were her first national product cover. We were also MGK's first national cover. And we did that series. And then after we completed that, we got a message on Twitter that says, "Hey, would you like to go to print?"
Okay.
She called me. She says, "What do you think?" I said, "No brainer.
Yeah.
Let's do it."
My bad for coming here. And what year is it?
2013.
Okay.
November 2013, we hit the shelves.
Okay.
Our first cover in print for commercial was K. Michelle and Nick Cannon. I did those interviews. We edited it, put it out, 10,000 copies, sold out 2 weeks.
Real.
And every quarter we started to print from there with no advertisers, no sponsors. We're all self-funded.
Yeah.
And we continue to be that way today because we don't want to give up creative control.
That's amazing. Creative control is everything. I fought for that in Chicago when I was on 1680 AM. It's the narrative. Sometimes I would even say it's more than money a little bit because I want to, because I know my narrative. I know my heart, my and what I want to put out there towards the world. So I salute you on that. I wanted to ask this though. Now we're in full digital. Is print a thing where it's almost a thing of the past, or do you think people still admire being printed on a magazine?
We do get requests for tangible asset because they want to hold it and feel it and see themselves on the magazine or whatever. Where can we buy copies? But however, pardon me, in this day of microwave living, people want instant results, and so the digital forum is the best place to do that. You know, I can take an interview and do it today, download it, edit it, and have it uploaded same day.
Wow.
I'm not a great editor. Shout out to my colleague, Fatima Ali. She is an amazing editor. So when you do video and you need something special, I'm like, hey, I need your skill set.
Okay.
Other than that, you're going to get it raw, just like me. I'm a crazy cat, and I just give it to you the way I see it.
Okay. I think, you speak on people having a skill set. I believe that a lot of people, and I spoke upon this yesterday, a lot of people don't master one particular thing. Mm-hmm. They just do a whole plethora of things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we have gotten into that space even more now because it's like nobody's mastering. Because whenever we were coming up, I was always the DJ. I never went into photography until I had to. But even at that, I would always make sure that the other photographer who was professional went over me. So now it's like, I can do 5 different things. And it's like, people are not mastering the one thing, if that makes sense.
I think in this age, when you're your own imprint, especially, artists in the music business, you need to know how to create you need to know the inner workings of your legal entity. You need to know how to be your marketer, your social media person, your communicator, write the press releases, and you need to master the basic skills, of English on how to tell a story. The same time you use to master production, whether you're using Pro Tools, whether you're using Logic or something like that, those details are important as applied to your business. So you have to master everything. You may need a manager. You may need a publicist. But you also need to know that publicist is not translating your narrative and putting it out there. So you need to know how to read. You need to know how to write. You need to know how to understand. You have to master each detail of your business so that the people you hire to handle your business don't get you put in jail like Wesley Snipes and his tax thing. So you have to know. You don't have to execute everything, but you have to have an understanding of each and every component, every nut and bolt of your business, whatever it is. So it is imperative not to master everything, but to master one or two things that you do well, but have an understanding of all the ancillary components that go with it.
That's real. That's a perfect answer. What would be the difference now when you first started writing versus to the difference now how you write or how you form a blog today?
When I first wrote, I wrote from emotion.
Okay.
I painted a picture, and so I could put basic strokes on the canvas and get the story told. As I started to cover the music industry and listen to lyricists and how they write, and got to talk to people like Chuck D and B.O.B. and talk about how they built song structure, how they tell the story, and how they might agonize over the placement of a word. Now I'm more detailed, and I write for impact as opposed to emotion. You get the emotion anyway because I'm going, but at the same time, a period or a comma in the wrong place changes the context of the story.
You're right.
So I got a greater understanding. I went to college, spent, I have a doctorate in communications. I have another doctorate in marketing and research.
That's amazing.
Those details were, really important and reinforced.
Right.
Then I also got a music business degree from Full Sail University because I wanted to know how to talk to creatives. So I could properly give them the respect in the story that they needed. And then, using the same techniques that a songwriter might use. I might move a word here, I might move a word there. It changes the timbre.
Okay, yeah.
You could take it from neutral voice to first person to third person, depending on how you want to do it. But I feel that those details make a difference in the storytelling.
Right.
And we have educated people that are reading. You can't be uneducated and understand how to do the social media stuff that you do. And so I know that I'm not writing to dummies. So now I've elevated from sixth grade writing to college level writing, which demands that my readers step up their game.
Right. And I think though too is this is more of a global thing, but kids are not paying attention as much in school. In essence, when they get older, they don't know even the comprehension may not be there sometimes because of, and I do believe it takes a village to raise a family and everything. So,
Absolutely.
I do think, in some instances, this new generation is kind of not put on all the way through. I guess that's the best word I could put it. But I do think it's also, if our generation can come back and say, hey, this is what it is right here. Look into this, research this and everything. So.
Once again, I have to go back to we're in the age of babies raising babies. There was a phase that don't you say nothing to my kid. Don't you correct them or we don't want them to go through hard times and have an experience that we can explain to them how the solution should go. You know what I mean? So accountability has gone by the wayside, and people feel that they can just do what they want to do. So I agree with you 100% that it takes a village to raise a child. It's very important that the elders, have the intestinal fortitude to reach out. Even though they may be resistant, I believe that our younger generation wants to know how to navigate the path of life or to navigate the path of their industry. And so we just need patience, perseverance, and be calm and come from the heart.
That's real. How do you feel about the music state of the underground right now?
Ooh, that's my spot, bro.
How do you feel about it at this point?
I think the underground is resurging simply because we want lyrics. We want content that makes sense. We want storytelling. We want nuance. If I want a hooker, I can go buy a hooker. I know what I'm getting, right? I can go to Amsterdam, walk down the street, pick, window shop. And that's what I want. I can get straight to the point, right? If I want a relationship, then I have to sit back, pause, count to 10, and get to know the nuances of the other human being that I'm dealing with, whatever your choice is, So you have to, first of all, remember that you're human, meet yourself again, and then, project yourself out there and connect.
That's what's up.
Does that answer your question?
It does. It does. How did you get into the Track Society? Because this is a beautiful thing that we have right here at the summit right now, man.
Shout out to our founder and executive director, Bea, Beat Messenger, Reyes, Rico, Maestro, who is also our director of education. He works here at Avant Media Institute, where the inaugural track meet for the Track Society is. I don't recall precisely. We're asking this question. I said, how did I get this? How did we connect? And we don't remember. What I do recall is that initially the message and the mission that was sent to me was, hey, we're trying to coalesce the independent community. We see the industrialization of the music, and we've heard T-Pain, and we've heard other rappers and stuff say, hey, look, we're in these meetings and creative meetings, and you're submitting. No, you need 3 more N words and a couple of B words, or we're not going to put it out, right? So their mission was to say, hey, we as an independent community can come together and do it. And then they're teaching the components that they need, from proper song structure. I think we just had, I don't recall the young lady's name, but she's one of Beyonce's background singers in the Mamas, right? She was here yesterday teaching songwriting. We have, Grammy Award winning producers that are here. There is a element of the community that wants to give. And there's this element of the community wants to learn. And that's why, Track Society and Avant Media Institute, are very important. How precisely I got involved, it was just probably an email or, a DM or something like that. And then a conversation, they set a discovery call with me. And I said, yes, I'm in. I believe in this mission. I can come on as the director of communications. And they invited me onto the board, voted me onto the board. And that's kind of what I've been doing. How it started, I don't know. That we're here is very important, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to participate.
This has been amazing. Networking and what I told Bayer, people are really taking it seriously, taking notes. They really want to learn, and kind of just like what we talked about, the foundation. Building that foundational pieces. As a DJ and as a Radiohead, there's so much that the artists can learn before they even get to me. And then even after that, there's so much you can learn. So let me ask you this: as a editor in chief and everything that you do, what contributions do you feel like you could help the underground the underground wave?
For me, I would like to contribute to the underground by providing them the tools and resources they need to communicate what they're doing, to learn the proper steps and processes to present their music, present their narrative, and gain additional media, impact, earned media, not go pay $400 for a source article. Don't go pay $250 for all hip hop. Shout out to Chuck and them, but the writers aren't getting paid by streams. Used to be like Yahoo, I would get paid per view. And so if I got 2 million views, well, that's like $3,500 for me.
Yeah.
They paid really good. In this day and age, with lack of sponsorship, lack of advertisement, and the growth, the evolution of digital media from tier 4 to now tier 1. So tier 1 would normally be Time Magazine, Rolling Stone, Wall Street Journal, that, right? So now you have clickbait places like Shade Room. They give you the sensational headlines and the gossip.
Yeah.
So you're getting that part. But the meaningful journalism is concentrating on the negative so much that we're not placing a responsibility or igniting the artist to come with something different out of the underground, because we don't shine the light on them. It's all about booty, booty, booty. Well, dang, bro, I can get all the booty I want on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't have to hear about it all the time. You know what I mean? And it also, I don't want it to teach. The underground teaches lessons about being adults, being responsible, teaches about respect, makes you think, and it's not cookie cutter stuff that we're hearing from everyone else. I want to shout out, one of the young rappers, who I think it was the NBA young boy, who said, look, I'm looking at what I'm putting out, I'm seeing the results, and I have to take responsibility. It won't be today, but I promise I'm going to do better. He woke up.
I can respect that.
And so that, to me, is foundational with the underground. You know what I mean? Yeah, they talk that trash. You might get a verb ripping somebody apart.
Yeah.
But in that story, look at what he's telling.
Yeah.
And how he's putting it together. It ignites critical thinking, which is important. How do I say this? How do I put this out? And how do I impact the crowd and make them move? Right? We got party music, we got message music, and we got just stuff.
Yeah. Ratchet music.
Art is what it is.
Yeah.
But the commercialization, the industry is not utilizing the artist; they're using the artist. I would remind everyone that, the privatization of prisons was based on a negotiation between the Justice Department and a private company called CAA. If you've been to the feds or heard about the feds, you know who they are. They actually negotiated, and the guarantee was that we'll have 90% occupancy in order for us to take over your running your prisons. That continued, that culture, that mindset continued to degrade the art and the messaging that goes out to the communities. And so they're just following what they're told. This is how I'm going to make bread. You know what I mean? This is what they want. This is how I get the deal. I got to, shout out Mozzie and them over there, Empire and places like that to say, we're going to support you, but you're going to be able to give us good quality music. We're going to get good quality messaging. And so the underground bowling up, people are demanding lyricism. They're demanding, one of the greatest things that happened, was Kendrick ripping Drake's head off.
But I love the fact that we in a battle now. So now we're in a battle.
Yes.
And I think we need that more, and not just, just the one off on a person, but we need that interaction, that back and forth, man.
Yeah.
Put it in the booth and just go crazy.
And it was an elevation. It started here. Kendrick didn't do it that well. Then he came back and Drake did his thing. Then Kendrick came back and elevated it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Made, ignited Drake to come back with it.
Yeah.
And then Kendrick says, okay, I'm going to shut it down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a wrap. And that is what the underground, specializes in.
Wow.
And that messaging. So I love that journey and the evolution and that it's coming back, man. It really touches my heart, and just to reference back, people say, oh, battles this. I would say that, remind that in the 80s, banging on wax between the Crips and Bloods.
Yeah.
That was an elevation. That helped to solidify the truth. Let's take it off the streets. Let's take it to the wax, like you said. Put it on record. Say what you want to say. And I want to shout out, your station, Chicago 73.3.
Yes, 77.
You know what I mean? Because you're giving opportunities and having conversations around the world. You're giving DJs an opportunity to break new music, people who might be unheard because they don't have the marketing budget.
Yeah.
They don't have the team behind them or the label interest because, maybe they're not saying something that could be commercialized. I want to shout out the artists that are fighting hard to control their art, and not be told what to say. It's one of the reasons why the Hype magazine is the #1 digital magazine in the world.
Hey.
Simply because we won't be told what to say. And we're going to tell the truth. We don't gossip.
Yeah.
We don't cover beef. I didn't write one article on Kendrick and Drake. I didn't have to. The world talked about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's bad when you get to India and they are using Indian traditional dance to this fight.
Oh my God.
And so the impact of hip hop, the impact of music has global resonance. It has importance. People connect. It brings people together. I would invite everyone to stop fighting, take it on wax, and just see who could be the most clever.
Yeah. I like that, man. I know we're coming down to nitty gritty, but this has been a tremendous interview. I really love your perspective on everything.
Oh, thank you.
This has been great. This is a couple fun questions, man.
Sure.
What are you into nowadays, man? What are you watching? What's your favorite movies?
My favorite movies. I watch the Hayya channel.
Okay.
That's my black belt theater. It's on 24/7.
Okay.
I'll sit there and chill. I like fishing.
Okay.
And ain't none of y'all gonna whoop me out there on the bank. It ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And I like to now write just for fun. So I'm delving into some creative writing. I own a Roku channel as well, so I'm going to launch that July 18th and go live. I'm going to present purposeful content. I have some items, some documentaries, and some items from the Library of Congress already. And, I want to support veterans who create. So get at me if you've got a documentary or something like that. I'm available. Matter of fact, you can hit my 800 numbers right there on IG. I'm just Jerry Doby _ and we can talk about it. That's what I mean. I don't do a lot, but I am a cheer dad.
Okay.
And so I'm into my daughter a lot. I don't post personal much, but she got her first national championship ring.
That's amazing.
And then her team ranked number 10 in the world at the World Championships on ESPN. So I'm really excited. She's getting. I'm negotiating with her mother about where she was going to go or whatever. I'm like, man, y'all can go where you want to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
I hear that, man.
Because she needs to be independent and she needs to learn the lessons, and we don't have to hold her hand all the time. So I'm not into a whole lot. Okay. We co-parent well.
That's amazing. That's a journey that I went through, so I understand, man.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of time. Man, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to speak to your audience. Thank you so much. It's And thank you for supporting, Track Meet 2024.
Oh, yeah.
And Track Society. Great things. I'm looking forward to coming back again and having you on mine.
Yeah, man.
And let's talk about it, man.
Let's build, man. Let's build. Like I said, I started this, this station to help showcase the unseen, the talented unseen, because I've been in spots where I had to fight to get every single thing out there. And then once I got to a place, okay, well, people know who I am. Let me give a foundational piece for the station so you know who the PD is. Mm-hmm. And so it will make people look and say, oh, I like that DJ. That DJ's dope right there. And hopefully maybe, or that artist that because a lot of program directors will listen to the station. So that artist may get picked up on other radio stations and stuff. So
you're making a difference, and I really appreciate it. And that's what we need, and that's why we're here, at Track Meet 2024 at Avant Media Institute, Houston, Texas. Shout out Houston. It's to make a difference, to provide the tools and resources that these new artists, even old artists, that are having a difficult time getting exposure. You're being a resource and an inspiration to others. So, shout out to you. Fred. This is totally amazing. I'm not in no hurry to go nowhere, but I know you got a time schedule.
Yeah.
I would just like to invite your audience to check out Avant Media Institute, check out Track Society, go to tracksociety.org. It is a 501c3 nonprofit, not asking you for money. Just understand what the mission is and what we're doing. I'm very proud to be on the board. I'm very proud to support it. The Hype Magazine is very proud to support this because we're all about that, the betterment of mankind. And, we're talking about music, but these elements that we're learning here are translatable and actionable on different levels in real life.
Real.
Intestinal fortitude, stay the course. The world's going to try that BS, but you can make it.
That's amazing. That's a bar right there in itself. That's a bar. Put that on a t-shirt. Make sure you make your money.
Hey now.
Where can the people find you at, man? MySpace, everything.
I am Jerry Doby _ everywhere on social media. My website is jerrydoby.com. That's my business card. You can find my 800 number, like I said, on IG, and reach out to me. I respond personally. I don't have any, I don't have a social media manager or anything like that. I really talk back. If I don't respond to you, it's because I literally get just an email, maybe 15,000 emails a month. So I can't get to everybody. I do the best that I can. On social media, I don't respond a lot. You'll see that, I'm only, also, if I may,
go ahead,
please. There's another organization that I'm really heavy behind. It's called the Gift of Chess.
Okay.
The goal of the Gift of Chess is to distribute 1 million chess sets across the world by 2030. Right now, they have chess tournaments in the prisons.
Okay.
And they've gained so much trust that they actually will transport the prisoners from prison to participate in these tournaments. They're also in schools, across the globe. We're trying to ignite critical thinking skills in the next wave of citizens, wherever you are. They want us to die mentally so that we don't know how to fight back and that we just subjugate ourselves to whatever they want to throw down. Don't let yourself be shackled by someone else's perception of you.
Well.
Chess helps that. And, shout out to Russ Makowski and Susan, who is the global head of chess. She's out of Malawi, Africa, and he's out of New York. But that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. The next wave of thinkers and communicators are going to come from these types of programs. So the Gift of Chess, that is outside of the hype, outside of Track Society, that is something. If you don't know how to play chess, it's fun, but it also makes you think. It challenges you, makes you patient. You can sit back and you can see the traps coming. Feel me?
That's
All right.
That's like life, man. That's like life. I do appreciate this, man, Mr. Doby. Or Dr. Doby. I do appreciate this. We already asked that, but if you can, you're gonna look into this camera right here, and you're gonna say your name. And I'm rocking with Chicago 77.3.
Hey, what's good up? This is Dr. Jerry Doby, editor-in-chief of the Hype magazine. I'm rocking with Mr. Fred Malone, 77.3 out of Chicago. He's doing the thing, baby.
Hey, he needs to be doing voiceovers, man. Hey, man, well, this has been an honor. This has been a privilege talking to you. Make sure you guys go check out the Hype magazine, the Track Society, everything that we got. We're going to be doing interviews. So let's go ahead and take it out, man. It's the one and only DJ Malone, Chicago 77.3. We out. Wow.
We lit. Live. This is WBBC.
That was amazing, man. Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.